This next tale comes from a world away from that one, Liberia in Western Africa. A man and a woman were walking through the bush. They had a long journey ahead of them. She had their child tied upon her back, stepping over the vines and through the thick shrubs. They grew hungry, and their journey was not at an end. At last, they stepped out of the forest and onto a grassy plain, and there in the distance, they saw a herd of bush cows. And the man turned to his wife, already carrying the child she had borne him, and said, "Wife, you have the power to change into anything you wish. Now turn into a leopard and get me one of those bush cows, for I am famished." And she looked at him and said, "Are you joking, or are you serious?" "I am serious, woman, for I am hungry. Turn yourself into a leopard and bring us some food." And he watched as she untied the carrier from her back and laid their child gently upon the ground. And then she loosened her loincloth and let it drop to the ground. And fur began to sprout all over her body. And her hands and her feet became paws with claws. And she dropped to all fours and stood looking at the man with the burning eyes of a leopard. And he cried out and turned and climbed the nearest tree. And then looked down and saw their child lying helpless on the ground. As the leopard bent to smell it, and then catching the scent of the bush cows, began to run across the savannah and brought one down, breaking its neck and dragging it back to the foot of the tree. And still the man held on tight to the branches high above. And the fur began to fall away, and her hands and feet became the gentle hands and feet he knew. She bent and picked up her loincloth and tied it about her. Still he did not come down from the tree till she lifted their child, cradled it in the cloth, and tied it once more about her neck. Then she turned to him and she said, "Eat your fill, but never ask me to do your work again." The Leopard Woman. I know that sense of what is man's work and woman's work is very much in flux in our modern world. When we had our children, my husband Berkeley was in the 90th percentile of actively parenting dads. I remember one night he was taking care of our daughter Katie Blake so that I could go and be part of a performance. And afterwards, a friend of mine, a man, said, "Oh, where's Berkeley? Is he home babysitting?" The fur began to rise upon my body. My claws reached out and I said, "When it's your own child, you don't call it babysitting, you call it parenting." And that man's still up a tree.